Jujutsu Kaisen 0, one of the only good parts of Jujutsu Kaisen. I gotta put it up here in A tier, dog. Legitimately the best part of Jujutsu Kaisen. Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, really good. I like the self-contained story. I like where the plot goes. It serves as a great sequel and a great follow-up and conclusion to the Hidden Inventory arc, which I just rewatched today because I'm doing a video on it. So look forward to that in the near future. And if you want to have early access to it, you can sign up for memberships. Okay, that's my plug out of the way. I did my plug. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is great. Has great action. I watched it in the IMAX theater when it came out. Dude, incredible. I like Yuta as a protagonist more than I like Yuji. There. I said it. I said it. I think Yuta is a better protagonist than Yuji. I'll die on that hill. Because he's engaging. He's interesting. He's got good motivation. He cares about people. Well, Yuji cares about people. But here's the thing. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 does not heavily rely on Gojo. And I think that's great. Because Jujutsu Kaisen, the series, relies incredibly heavy on Gojo to do everything. And I think I will never forgive Geiji for giving us such an amazing protagonist as Yuta in JJK 0 and then sending him away until the end of the Shibuya arc. What do you mean, dude? What are you talking about? Get out of here. You can't make the coolest protagonist with a sword and a cursed spirit that can mimic things and make him the second greatest sorcerer, the second strongest sorcerer, and send him away for half the series. What do you mean? And that is emblematic of what is wrong with Jujutsu Kaisen. It has a lot of great ideas, a lot of very cool power system, very cool world building, super great, and it's just not executed well. It's fumbled almost every single time. It's just frustrating because JJK 0 is like what Jujutsu Kaisen should have been. I think the best stretch of JJK is Hidden Inventory into 0, and then you just stop watching. Don't watch anything else. It's not worth watching. And I really liked the other characters that were with him. Panda, Maki, and Inumaki, the guy who, like, speaks. He's like, die, and then they die. So, I like all of them. I think they're great. I like them arguably more so than Nobara and Megumi, who get shafted in their own series, dude. It's incredibly baffling what happens to them. And I'll get back to Jujutsu Kaisen. All right, Jujutsu Kaisen. See, here's a problem. This includes Hidden Inventory. So how much does Hidden Inventory save the rest of this godforsaken show? I'm going to say it saves it from D, but not by much. Because here's the thing. Let me give my piece about Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay? This is also not a popular opinion. Jujutsu Kaisen is mid. Okay? Because. Does it have flashy fights? Yes. Is it well animated? Yes. Does it have cool character designs? Yes. Does it have a great power system? Yes. You know what it doesn't have? Any concept of a story. Any concept of a story that means anything outside of the fighting. Fights mean nothing. Fights are just people smacking each other for no reason. Or it's like, oh, I don't like your hair. Bah! And then they're going to fight. Like I said earlier with Jujutsu Kaisen 0, I don't think Yuji's a great protagonist. I really don't. Because most of the first season, he spends getting outshined by other people in his own show. I genuinely think Yuji is outshined by Nobara, Megumi, and Gojo. Specifically Gojo. Like, Gojo should have been the main character. Because and I know he's not, because Geiji hates Gojo. Like, that's crazy. And yes, to your point, Terry, Yuji is carried by Sukuna. It's not even Yuji that people want to see. They want to see Sukuna. Because he's cool. He's a strong bad guy who does bad guy things for the sake of being a bad guy. Like, people want to see Sukuna and Gojo fight. That's it. They don't care about Yuji. Yuji also, I feel like, doesn't have a reason to be the protagonist. Like, yeah, he ate the Sukuna finger, right? Finger looking good, yeah. The only reason he keeps going is because he's like, well, I'm going to fight so that I can choose how I die. What? So Yuji's going to die, is what you're saying from the get-go. And it's like, no, Gojo's trying to make a new perfect society. No, what? No. Like I said, I already aired a lot of my grievances with Jujutsu when I was talking about Zero, but I don't think the main series is any better. And the first season is kind of odd. The Shibuya arc is not great. I finished season 2, but I dropped Jujutsu Kaisen after the Shibuya arc because it made me so unbelievably angry. Because in back-to-back episodes, we lost Nanami and Nobara. Back-to-back. And that was incredibly frustrating. Now say, oh, well, Jujutsu Kaisen has stakes and people die, and My Hero doesn't because nobody dies. And I'm like, okay, thank you for acknowledging your very surface-level understanding of media literacy and the concept of stakes. Because there's a lot of things at stake that don't necessarily have to be death. Yes, 9 times out of 10 in a story, death is always on the line. Death is always the underlying stake of if you don't win this fight, you are going to die. But if death is the only stake, there's not much else I'm invested in. Because if you don't care about the character, you don't care if they die or not. And Jujutsu doesn't give you enough time to get attached to characters. They will literally kill that character off 2 minutes after you met them for the sake of shock value. And I've seen that complaint labeled against Attack on Titan, of Attack on Titan does that too. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Attack on Titan, even if it's just for one whole episode, gives you ample time to get connected to a character, even if you know full well that they're going to die. But 9 times out of 10, when Attack on Titan kills a character, it's a character that you've been attached to and you're like, oh, well, I'm upset that that character died. Like when Aaron's mom died, you understand, like, oh, I don't know a lot about Aaron's mom, but I understand this is a big deal because that's his mom. And that she didn't want this to happen either. Whereas when you look at someone like Nobara, right? Her death was not foreshadowed at all. We really haven't been attached to her that much. And then she just dies. But she doesn't die because they're like, well, she died, but she could still be alive because she's not like... and then they put her in this like state of limbo. And then you have this other really cool character in Toto who can do the boogie woogie clap and switch. And then infighting Mahito, who's just a Shigaraki knockoff, by the way. Don't even get me started about that. Toto's trying to do the cool boogie woogie with Mahito and then loses a hand. And he can't use his cool power anymore. So now you've sidelined yet another really cool character. And it's like, okay, that's neat. And then Gojo gets trapped in the box, which locks away the other cool character. Nanami gets killed, which locks away another cool character. Megumi's just kind of there. He doesn't really do anything in the Shibuya arc. He fights a guy with Yuji, and then he fights that one guy who Nanami knocked out, and then Maharaga fights Sukuna. So it's like Yuji versus Megumi. And it's so incredibly awful. And there's no semblance of storytelling. And like I said earlier, it's just frustrating that the best protagonist, Yuta, my main Yuta, got thrown to the side for no reason. So I will say I do really enjoy the hidden inventory arc. I think that's the best arc of the entire series because it does have everything that I said Jujutsu doesn't have. You get attached to characters, right? Even in the 3 episodes that you have Riko, you get attached to her really quick. And she grows on you really quickly. So then when she dies, it hurts. Especially because you're like, well, how is this going to affect Gojo and Geto? Because you want her to be happy. And you want them to be happy together. Because you want her to be more than just a tool of jujitsu. And that doesn't happen. And that hurts. And that's where that realism comes in of like, well, not everybody gets to live. And I'm okay with that. It's just, I don't know. The rest of Jujutsu is frustrating. I'm gonna stop myself there because I'm gonna make a video about it later on. And also, we're going on 3 hours and I haven't even made a dent in that.